There's a bright side to living. No one seems to know. There's a bright side to living. No one seems to know. Play with old strings on the guitar. Also maybe it's the drums just a little too hard. It's all about the little things. Up from them and see what they bring. Work a sunny days, cause our time feels too big. When I have often where there's nothing but rain. Thank you, Jesus, it helps me sleep. But put some sun in my dreams. Final green in every blade of grass. Life's just short enough to sleep in class. And every day I wake up on the right side. Life's alright on the bright side. Yeah, the grass is much greener on the other side. Yesterday looks a bit bleaker in hindsight. The daily crime will drive you out of your mind. The play-by-play is the same every day. By day, my smile stays. You'll be here, I'm more sun, less rain. Can't you see there's no point in whining? Life's sweeter when you're on the silver lining. And if you must stop to look back, learn to wave goodbye to the past. And find the green in every blade of grass. Life's just short enough to sleep to class. And every day I wake up on the right side. Life's alright on the bright side. Find the green in every blade of grass. Life's just short enough to sleep to class. And every day I wake up on the right side. Life's alright on the bright side. So find the green in every blade of grass. Life's alright to class. And every day I wake up on the right side. Life's alright. Life's alright on the bright side. Hey babe, what's to say? We skip down the very next day, and I know just where to go. A place where we only know it. I will drive with you by my side and never look back. Where have you been? Like a better picture of the future. The world is ours, and just waiting for us. And I know you will share it with me. A perfect day to drive away to wherever you wanna be. Jack Johnson's on the phone, banana pancakes for the road. You DJ for a while to every song that makes you smile. You love to sing. most coordinated plan will be on top of the world. If I can be the man I aim to be, I'll make you the happiest girl. Lying down and smiling all the time and getting you to laugh. I know all kinds of shy things to see you react. Well, for your information, we'll vacation anywhere on the map. Your finger points at, and we'll go as soon as your bags are packed through the road. Watch your son grow up and hopefully be better than me. Be gross, be like you don't need to speak. I'll speak peacefully. This plan we have is started after all. It started at rock bottom. Won't be hard to get done with no bugs because no, we don't got 'em. Well, for your information, we'll vacation anywhere on the map. Your finger points at, and we'll go as soon as your bags are packed from the road. And for your information, we'll vacation anywhere on the map. Your finger points at, and we'll go as soon as your bags are packed through the road. Wow! For your information, we'll vacation. 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 Baby, it's alright that the stars are bright tonight. If not tonight, then like sky night will set the world on fire in spite of you. Don't seem to care with all I had to bear. 'Cause even if I tried to share cares with all I even had to give to you. And so it goes. I have to please you by learning to read minds. Bend over backwards till I break my spine. Knowing your mood swings back at me all the time. Take your crazy love, babe, if you take mine. Take your crazy love, you take mine. Take your crazy love, you take mine. I'm stuck with you for good, but mostly 'cause I should. Yeah, you have been the worst bitch that ever since we've met a kid that keeps us ignorance is low. From the ignorance you showed, just knock me out as I time and wake me up before they put me in the ground. And so it goes. If I have to please you by learning to read minds, bend over backwards till I break my spine. Knowing your mood swings back at me all the time. Take your crazy love, babe, if you take mine. She's walking towards me now. I've got weak knees. Can I get some help? Save me from myself. Simple and strange. I forget my own name. Go through the wave. Oh, she does the same. Well, I ain't the right guy that she's looking at. Turn around to see it's a guy in the back. Ain't the right guy that she's looking at. Turn around to see what's a guy in the back. New way who sing, 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 new way. When things work out for me, only happens in dreams. Can I just pretend this is what it seems? Only the best when I pull for my chest. Devilish smile at the wink to the rest. Ain't the right guy that she's looking at. Turn around to see it's a guy in the back. Ain't the right guy that she's looking at. Turn around to see what's the guy in the back. New way who sing, 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 new way who sing. I ain't the right guy that she's looking at. Turn around to see it's the guy in the back. Ain't the right guy that she's looking at. What's the guy in the back? New way who sing, 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 new way who Hey babe, what's to say? We skipped on the very next day, and I know just where to go. A place where we only know it. I will drive with you by my side and never look back. Where with you, mirror like a better picture of the future. Ooh, the world is ours, and just waiting for us. And I know you will share it with me. A perfect day to drive away to wherever you want be so fucking selfish when I still get drunk, still act like a fucking punk. Did I say it's all because the older I get, the better I was made? No, I don't regret it. Fuck that girl, she doesn't fucking like me. She doesn't fucking like me. Fuck that girl and whoever doesn't like me. She doesn't fucking like me. Woo! There's a bright side to living. No one seems to know. There's a bright side to living. No one seems to know. Play with old strings on the guitar. Also, maybe it's the drums just a little too hard. It's all about the little things. Up from them misty what they bring. Work a sunny days, cause our path feels too big. When I have often where there's nothing but rain. Thank you, Jesus.
You should transition.
Oh, yeah, I should transition. That would be important. Thanks. Do you want to sit here? You want to take over? What's up? Happy Saturday, peoples.
What's up?
The camera's over there this week. I know the camera's kind of been everywhere. Dave immediately responded. There you go. That's a correspondent for you. Yeah, Dave's having a good time.
He is. Drunk Dave is drunk. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, man.
That's what I just saw.
This week we have a party crasher. Cole, welcome back again. We enjoy having you. I know you feel like you had too much FaceTime, but
You know.
we like having you. Lucas, welcome back again. We're on a streak.
Yeah.
Your attendance is uplifting. Remy,
Hello.
welcome back.
Thank you.
I will not get you all fired up this week, I promise. Unless I feel like I need a little interaction from you, but we'll get there.
What did you do last time?
Last time, so basically last time Lucas met me, like, Remy's gonna come with, But they don't really want to be involved. They just want to kind of hang out. I'm like, okay, cool. And we were talking about music. And prior conversations with Lucas, he was like, oh yeah, Remy's into these bands and these bands. And I'm like, we were talking about ways to listen to music. So I decided to use some trigger bands that they listen to get them involved. It happened very quickly. I brought up Motionless in White and immediately got death glared. And my brain was like, hey, it worked. And then from, like, the halfway point of the podcast to the end, they were involved. I was like, gotcha. I work that way. I don't know if Lucas warned you, but I will do that. That's kind of my thing. I will get people involved one way or another.
I didn't know what he mentioned, so I didn't know that.
I didn't talk shit.
Well, I didn't mention it because of the podcast. I mentioned it in prior conversations.
Okay.
I didn't come to talk this week. I just came to sit here and drink.
You get to talk this week. Josh is always here. You guys just don't ever see him.
The hidden.
There he is. Oh, you see the back of his head this week. You're too far forward.
There we go. Come on.
Josh is almost... That's exactly why he's always off camera. He doesn't want people to know he has a kind heart and cuddles a dog every day.
I have no choice.
You called her up!
You trained her.
The only thing I showed her was to jump up.
Oh, yeah.
And what did she just do?
No, like standing jump up.
Yeah, I know. But she jumped up into your lap.
I taught her how to do handbag. If you say handbag to her, she'll get up and wrap her paws around your waist and lay her head on your side.
Arya is dedicated to having her Zoom.
Oh, yeah. Once Arya's fixated on I need to run, she will do whatever she can to
You
get
gotta just
there.
let him out the back door.
And Mavis, whenever she's nervous... None of Cole's cats acted this way when we got there. They just kind of looked at me and like... Well, Cole's gray cat kind of looked like it had seen some things in the past. It was like staring in the hallway at me. It was like, I don't like you, but my dad's out there. And I kind of want to be out there. Can you leave?
Is that the one you had the longest?
Kevin, the sound keeps fading in and out.
What?
Heather, why are you watching this? You're supposed to be working.
There we go. All right, now we're clipping. If it fades in and out now, we got a problem.
All right.
Unless...
No. I
can't.
think it was just the game was down.
Game was down. Sorry, Heather!
So is that the cat you had the longest?
What's that?
The gray cat?
Yeah, he's currently our longest cat. He's
That explains. So he's seen a lot of the murders that's happened.
yeah. We've had him for a little while. Today was his 5th birthday.
Damn, he's
Fourth,
catching up.
Fourth.
Fourth
I
birthday.
remember.
Today was his
He's
4th
catching up
birthday.
to my cat.
That's how
Yeah.
Heather
No,
greeted
no.
me. Heather was, I forget the name.
Floki's
Heather was like,
gonna-
this is
Floki's gonna
so-and-so.
turn
He's
5.
4 today.
Yeah. So Hafton turned 4 today. He's 4. And we got him. He was a rescue. My ex-roommates found him. His mother was like chilling on the back steps of the house I used to live in with them. Brought her into the basement, and then like a day later, like she's having kittens. So my buddy Joe, who's like a big dog person, is suddenly like giving birth to kittens, and they ended up rescuing all the cats and finding homes for all of them and the mom. And the last 3 that were left were Hafton and his brother and sister. And we took Hafton. We liked him and we wanted him, so we took him. So the last 2 that were left, it was perfect. And Finn, they were joined by the leg at birth, and they had to be surgically removed from each other. And Joe and Cassie kept them after because they were like, it's perfect. Like everybody took all the other cats, and these are the 2 left. We're gonna keep them.
Like they were meant to stay together.
Yeah.
How many kittens did she have?
6, I think, 5 or 6.
That's probably her 2nd or 3rd birth.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, mothers will only give birth to like 4 as their first.
Yeah, there was a bunch. There were 5 or 6.
As Simba, he's gonna be 8 in January. Jesus fucking Christ. He's old.
Mavis is old.
Hey, she's
Gonna be
literally
8.
as old as he is.
She's gonna be 8. Arya's about to be 4. Yeah, I said your name. Ruby's the baby. She's a year-old. The only reason we got Ruby is because we always wanted a red border collie, and we found some people out there in the Amish country, And they had them listed up, and they were like, we got border collie puppies, we only want $400 for these red ones. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And Bree called them. She's like, are they purebred? And they're like, oh yeah, they're purebred. We get out there, mom and dad are gorgeous. You know why they didn't want to keep them? There wasn't enough red, and they had to treat them for kennel cough. But all their and they were all, but because there wasn't enough red, they couldn't keep them to breed them. Mind you, a red border collie anywhere is like $2,500 to $4,000, depending on the amount of red and how much hair they have. I was like, fuck it. I don't have space for a third dog, but sure, we'll get a third dog just because. Hey! Get out of her snots!
Back.
Arya's trying hardcore. Come on! Come on! Chase me! This is weird. I don't know what. I guess because of finally like having groups of people come over consistently, they've started to act like. Well, you remember the first time you came over? They like cowered in corners and hid.
Yeah.
Even like your first experience, every time you get up, they're like, "I need to kill this man."
I don't know what you're talking about. They sat in my face the entire time.
I think it's funny. Dave claimed himself to be the dog guy, but they hung towards you more than they hung towards him.
That's
Maybe they feared being put on the roof. I'm not sure. Everybody have a good week.
Yeah.
Remy, you said you had an awesome birthday week.
Yeah, it was good because it was my birthday.
Mommy, you had a birthday when was your birthday?
Wednesday,
Wednesday. That was what, the 27th?
the 26th.
26th. Oh yeah, 26th. Day after drunk day.
Day after drunk day.
Drunk day.
Nice.
There's so many fucking July birthdays.
Yeah, there's a
There
lot.
are a lot.
There's a lot of us. Me, him, Kyle,
Start flipping coins. People need to
Remy.
We could probably get a person per fucking day.
At this point, we're just gonna have. We're all gonna have to make sure we just all go to a show together in one day.
Oh, fuck that. We just get fucked up every single day. Just find somebody for each day.
Whose birthday's this week? Well, theirs was last week, but we
So
missed
you're
it.
gonna
Alright, we'll double drink, because mine's next week.
So you're going to waste all your vacation time in 1 month. Yes.
It's a good
I'll see
challenge.
you in August.
I fucking wish.
I won't be in the state.
I had a
Right
good-
state of mind.
I had a pretty good week. I had like a guitar epiphany breakthrough. Like I was playing guitar one day this week, and my brain was like, "Why the fuck are you doing that? Do this." And as soon as I like made this like minor change that you would think would be like insignificant, everything started coming easy. Like the strumming patterns, like I was able to add more strums to shit. I'm like, I looked it up. I'm like, that is a way to do things. It's called bluegrass picking, where you would use your wrist and your fingers to add extra notations. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that now. So that was my week. I bought another guitar, but we won't talk about that. That guitar's not here yet. It's not. I mean, my case is here. It's fucking hanging over there, Luke. It's got the Harley Benton in it.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to sell the Benton, to be honest. With what we're doing and what I've been doing, I have no reason for H strings at this point, and you have so much low end on your instrument that I literally cannot bring any more low end into it other than the fifth string on your bass guitar.
Yeah.
So, I have no reason to bring any low end. If we need to bring it, I'm like, Lucas, this guy up here, do the bumba bums, make it sound like mud. I'll probably sell it to somebody in Kevin's guitar group for like $120. Especially since I'm gonna have the headless.
Oh, yeah.
Which is gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, I already have. I don't want to say I have too many, but I'm not buying any more gear. I've made that pack. I'm done. This is the last thing I'm buying. No more gear. I've actually been thinking about parting ways with this, taking all the practice heads off of it, putting it on my other kit, parting ways with this shell, and keeping the other one. And then, if I need it, I'll just have to change the heads out. Luna plays this more than I do. I've been so focused on guitar lately. I played it for the first time today. I was like, I still know how to play this thing. Sweet, and got out of it. Other than that, my library of things I can play has expanded exponentially, and that's probably the most gratifying thing when playing an instrument. When you start at one point, And you're like, oh, wow, this, and the library just gets bigger of things you can play without having to play along with or listen to it. I'm like, huh, oh, this feels good. And I'm like, I can actually play guitar, and then I've been trying to learn how to solo. For reasons that won't be spoken about, I've been trying to learn how to solo. That has been, like, the shittiest, like, I was so pissed off that I could not even get the basics down over the last week that I was ready to just sell everything. I was like, no, fuck this, it's stupid, this is dumb. Why is it unnecessarily hard? And Bree's like, did you ever think maybe it's because you're new? I'm like, I don't give a shit. I can't do it my first try. Your sister just fucked your ass up. Get out of here. If I can't do it my first try, I'm not interested. She's like, if you sell all your shit and disappoint certain people in your life, I'm going to beat you, and then I'm going to hold you down so they can beat you. And then specifically ended it with, and if you end up on the roof, I'm not saving. I'm like, fuck. Alright, got it. Understood.
Can you imagine just waking up in your fucking underwear on the roof and
On the
wondering how the fuck did I just get here?
I would be
Last thing I
concerned that I
remember
would
is
be in
getting
my
knocked the fuck
underwear.
out.
That would be the most concerning part, and how I got on the roof, because the only way through the roof would be through the bedroom, and Bree would not allow that.
There's ladders.
Oh, Kyle's in the line. Hi, Kyle! I mean, if you want to borrow the Harley Benton, bro, fucking borrow it. I don't have a reason for it. If you want to borrow it, borrow it. Take your guitar to BCR and get it set up. Take the Benton. The Benton has a perfect setup. Or give me your guitar and I'll set it up. So, we did pick a topic last week, and we can talk about it a little bit. But, mister, I'm just here to listen.
Yep.
No. That's not how this works. We can get into, you know what? Let's just get into this right away. There was a topic that you said we needed to talk about that was through Messenger, and it was about my dislike for the Black Keys.
The Black Keys? Did we talk about you not liking the Black Keys?
No, we didn't talk about it today. We fell down the Van Halen rabbit hole. We went to talk about it. You're like, oh, wait till you hear this, and that was it. We went and got more glasses of whiskey, and we proceeded to...
Wait. So you don't like the
Mavis.
Black Keys?
I do not like the Black Keys. When I told you I'm probably, like... I will listen to anything. I've listened to stuff Lucas has said. We had a whole episode where we were all challenged... Oh, this was a while ago. What was it? We were all challenged to find new music and listen to it and give our opinions on new music. It couldn't be an artist, and we went outside of it. Couldn't be an artist we've already listened to. It had to be, like, new totally. And I went through it, and I can listen to a lot of shit. I just don't like the Black Keys. Just as much as I don't know how you're going to feel about this, I don't like Greta Van Fleet either. I think they're shit. I don't know. Why should I like the Black Keys?
I mean, it's probably the best white boy blues of our generation. Like what? Like, my first question is, what Black Keys have you heard and you were like, I don't like that? Because if it's kind of what is becoming their middle section, which is when, like, Post Brothers, when Dan Arbach bought Easy Eye and started Easy Eye, everything got over about 2-3 albums. Like, super overproduced.
I would say what has turned me off to the Black Keys was the excessive amount of radio pushing of certain songs that just I didn't feel like should be right. I'm sure they probably, and I'm quick to judge in that matter, but I feel like there are probably songs I would like. I'm just not a fan in general of the style.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I like about the Black Keys is the earlier stuff, and a lot of the stuff that they've been putting out lately where they've been getting back to their bluesy roots and stuff, because
So I
That's when they're at their
obviously, you're
best.
saying bluesy, and I must have listened to like that middle area you're talking about, because anything I've listened
Yeah.
to was not bluesy at all.
yeah, so you gotta understand, like Dan Arbach at 16, while my parents were like, you can't do this, you can't do that, go to your room, blah blah blah. Like Dan Arbach was like, hey Dad, I want to go to Mississippi and hang out with a bunch of old black guys and play music, and his dad was like, sure, I'll drive you down. And like that's what he did. And
Yeah,
So-
I'm missing something totally. So I'll
Yeah,
retract my
so-
statement, and I will go back and listen.
so all of the early stuff that you listen to from the Black Keys is all
Give me an
super
album
duper
I need to
bluesy.
sit down and listen to front to back.
My
Cover to
favorite album from the Black Keys is Rubber Factory, and that was Dan and Pat went into, I think it's the Goodyear Rubber Factory, rented an office space, went in with a 4-track recorder, and sat there and recorded themselves.
Okay.
And that was all of the pre-production, was them just in a office in a rubber factory playing.
I made a note of it. I will
Yeah.
listen to it. I will give anything a shot.
Right now,
What
like
are you giggling about?
we were at the record shop today, and Thomas was talking about Kevin Thomas was talking about like how Easy Eye is so hot right now. They're hot because
That's the company you sent me that like bluesy experimental. So that song's
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah, see, and that's all the stuff that Dan's doing
You need
now.
to listen to it. It's
is
so good.
Dan is very much like grabbing like all of the old blues players and he's putting them on and saying, let's record an album. Like these guys are all like in their 70s, and he's taking like all these guys that have never recorded or never had mainstream success, and he's giving them a platform, and he's saying like, let me like platform you and get you out there. And then he's finding like all these other fucking kids that were like him, that grew up loving the blues, that are doing blues style music, and he's bringing them all to Easy Eye, and he's making this huge fucking label out of it. And we talked like about like Muscle Shoals and how like we were talking about that documentary and how big Muscle Shoals was in the 60s and the 70s.
The amount
And,
of
like,
work they put in.
He's basically doing that exact same thing with Easy
Yeah.
Eye right now. He's the hottest shit right now because he's got all those. He's got like 60, 70-year-old bluesmen. He's got like all the young people, 20, 30 years old, that are singer-songwriters that love the blues, that are playing the blues, and he's putting them all on his label.
Funny thing is you know what introduced me to the blues? When I was maybe 8 years old, Blues Brothers.
Mm.
And that was like, honestly, probably, like we talked, so earlier today, me and Cole talked about, and I think this would be neat for all of us to talk about, we talked about like our earliest like memory of hearing a song, like that earliest one you can remember, and Fred, which is funny because he called me out immediately. It was like the earliest thing I could remember, and it was on vinyl, was the Monster Mash. And like that was like the earliest thing I can remember. And like when it comes to the earliest thing I remember making an impact on me in music, it was the Blues Brothers movie. I don't know what it was about it. I thought all the music was super catchy. Like I was super hyper focused on it at like that age. I was like, oh, I'd love to do that one day. And obviously your parents, especially in my situation, didn't have the money. Like, you'll never do that anyway. Like, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't take it. And like full now, like if I can turn around after I'm done doing everything I'm doing and learn the core playing of blues, I have a slide. I would love that. That's why to give myself a reason to go learn something bluesy. But like, yeah, you guys have an early memory of like your like a song or an album that really sticks out? Paul, do you want to go? I know you brought it up with me, but
Well, I just mentioned to you earlier about how two of the earliest records for me that I remember were my mom, you know, songs and albums that my mom played. And for me, it's the Bruce Springsteen Born to Run album and the first Van Halen album. Like, I can remember being with my mom, her hanging out with her friends and stuff, and those being the types of things that they listened to. And they stuck with me over time.
Josh? You got something that you heard early on in little Josh life that stood out, that kind of drew you towards music, or that like you always remember, and even when you hear the song, you're like, I remember hearing that.
What happened to this can?
Fucking.
I don't know.
Got dropped.
every fucking song my mother ever fucking listened to. Whether
You don't
it's
have
fucking-
one. There's got to be one. Like, there's got to be a memorable moment.
It varied because she always listened to either Cher or Def Leppard, and then obviously being on the hard rock side of Def Leppard, then you just go into like Metallica, which first album was Justice for All. It's the first album I ever had on CD.
Such
And
a
I
good
just
album.
went
Such a good album.
fucking rabbit hole from there.
Lucas?
There's a lot because my family was all over the spectrum.
Well, yeah. For those who don't know, and I don't think we've talked about it on live, Lucas's family is gigantic. Like, I remember the first time I talked to him about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have this and this and this, and then like this is this," and I'm like, "Holy shit! You have more family than I think ever existed compared to my family in their entire existence."
Yeah, I have 5 siblings.
And that's just current,
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm getting any more siblings.
well, which is good.
Yeah.
But when you go,
I have 2 half siblings as well. But yeah, so my brother Mark was really into the rap scene at that time, so I was hearing DMX, Eminem, all those big up and coming rappers. My brother Zach was really into the underground, like he was listening to ska, he was listening to Linkin Park as they were coming up, like 3 Days Grace, 3 Doors Down. My sister was into the boy band, so I was hearing NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, Backstreet Boys. My mom was into like Pink and country music, so I was hearing like Luke Bryan. My dad was into, of course, the dad rock. He was into Metallica. This is pre-dad rock Metallica era, so I was listening to, Injustice for All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets.
we just talked about this today with Heather because I asked his opinion on like what he thought about like metal bands of the past, like technically being rock, and I kind of thought he was gonna fight me for a second. He's like, no. He's like, Heather said the same thing, and that's not right. I'm like, but they are. They're not. Everything gets phased out eventually. Like, at some point, Sabbath will be what the Rolling Stones are to rock.
Really, they kind of are now.
Not quite. The
With
Rolling
what
Stones
we-
has made a huge impact on rock.
With what we
Yeah.
have now and progressing forward, they are literally taking into the shoes.
But the reality of it is, it takes people like Cole and Holdfast and the guys in Blind Accuracy, even the Killmain Saints. They're continually pushing the envelope of what the genres are they belong to, and it's ever changing. It's the new bands that are changing the tone. The
Well,
old
like-
bands will stay their way.
But like, I played you Disraeli Gears today, and like when that came out in what year was that? I want to say that was 67, 68. When Disraeli Gears came out, like that was one of the heaviest albums that ever came out, and that was very much like
And I think
that was very much like that was like, first of all, that was a rock supergroup, and those guys all came together and made probably some of the heaviest music anybody had heard up until that point. And it was one of the progenitor things to what was coming next with Led Zeppelin and Sabbath and all these other bands. And it was considered so heavy. And now, like I said to you, like, if you played that for anybody, they'd be like, that's like blues hard rock.
Yeah.
Like, but for 68, that was like...
that was heavy.
That was heavy.
That was like the
Super
introduction
heavy.
of fuzz pedals, and
Yeah.
it was. And then you have bands like Sabbath who come out and we're like, well, we can make this really dark, and they brought those fuzz pedals in. They changed the tuning. It really, that era of music is so amazing because it changed so much so quick, year after year after. Like, you went from doo-wop, like, almost straight into, like, rockabilly stuff, straight into it almost immediately. Rock and hard rock was right behind it, and what was essentially, like you said, early metal. And personally, without that evolution, we wouldn't have metal. It wouldn't be a goddamn thing. But even still, like, influences on that type of music. You think about, like, Johnny Cash has an influence on metal somewhere in almost every band.
Elvis Presley,
Elvis, yeah.
Beatles.
You got an just give me a little bit. You got an album or song or something you heard that kind of like draw you in, like the first bit of music you remember listening to. Lucas is a goddamn encyclopedia. I figured you might be a little smaller.
I mean, if I had to choose something, it would definitely be Hybrid Theory. Was the thing that got me to music.
Damn, that was unexpected.
It's
I have
it's
Hybrid
old,
Theory
but
on vinyl. I talk about. I have a Linkin Park hat.
You're right.
it's an old album, but new for that time.
Hybrid Theory came out when I was born. So by the time I was a conscious being,
That was
at
hurt
its
cold a
height.
little bit inside, I think. I was like Linkin Park, like teenager shit when I was.
I was like, shit, I was like 30 when that came out.
That was what, like 2008? I don't know, 2004? 2001?
2001. 4 was.
Because they released what, Metal Era right before that too,
No,
or was that right after?
that was after. That was 4 was.
Because they had back to back.
And then no, you had.
See, I wasn't far. I was 25.
Fuck. They're experimental, like. They were already experimental for the time, but they're fucking. Fuck. What was it? There was something in between Matora and.
Well, while your thought is loading, Remy.
I think it was like Resurrection? Hold on.
My earliest music memories are probably like 90s grunge, like Nirvana, like stuff like that. That's all my dad would listen to.
Reanimation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You had Hybrid Theory, Reanimation, Meteora, and then they had a huge break from 2003 to 07.
Yeah, because 07 was, what was that, the Shadow one?
Minutes to Midnight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have Minutes to
Which
Midnight on
is a
vinyl,
really
too.
good fucking album. And then the one that they released before Chester passed, the one with the Castle Glass, was a fucking banger album too.
Castle Glass was a different album. That was Honey Party, I believe.
And that was
One More Light was the last album.
You know, I'm fucking thinking about this. There's a song that now comes to memory that I remember even before the Monster Mash. It was by the Marshalls, Blue Moon.
Ooh, that's a good song.
It's a very good song. That's like, Lucas, it's like quadruple your age and fucking... When did that... Let me look it up. When did that even come out? It was the
58.
Marshalls, right?
58. I'm gonna guess 58.
Yep, the Marshalls. Blue Moon. It was released... 61.
61.
You're close.
I'm usually pretty good at guessing years for stuff.
Was produced and arranged by Stu Phillips. Recorded in New York at RCA Studios. That's one that I like thinking about it and like things that stand out like
Drink the rest.
that, which is weird because when most people look at me, I'm like the
Be
most
proper.
like I'm like the
Proper
most
on this show?
No.
I'm like the most upfront metalhead, but I will be the first person you'll catch listening to that type of shit in my earbuds. Just be like, oh yeah, this fucking song slaps.
fucking head banging and shit.
I mean,
Don't
you've
let
nudged-
anybody know.
You've nudged me before about like what do I listen to zone out or to like to push people out or to like when I wanna just like zone out or concentrate on something or put a background music like dude it depends so much like
The mood.
There
and
are
the day.
days-
After
right.
seeing your
There's-
collection, I 100% understand that.
but
'cause
there's days like I want to just throw on like something heavy like Baroness, but then there's other days I want to throw on something that's more like
can I say you
twangy
changed
country
my
punk.
opinion a little bit on Baroness today?
yeah.
I was kind of meh until you threw that vinyl on, and I was like,
Oh.
oh boy.
Those, I'm telling you, those Maida Vales are pretty awesome, man.
But their new song they released isn't actually bad.
No. Well, I told him when they did the review, or the release, they had talked about how there's 3 or 4 songs on this album that are left over from the Grey album.
See, I found that interesting because they were making a big deal during COVID about
How much
we've
content
got
they have.
all this new material we've been working on, and this person had this idea, and that person had that idea. So I just
Well,
not that there's going to be anything wrong with the songs that they're dragging over, but it just like sometimes when people are dragging over ideas, it's like kind of like.
did you really have a lot to work
Did you
with?
really?
Or
need
did
to
you
bring
have
those?
4 songs
Or
and
were
you
those
made an
left
album
behind?
around?
Were those left behind on the last album for a reason? So
I will say, have you listened to either one of those songs yet? Is it
Yeah, I listened to Last Words. I haven't listened to the second track.
the Rose song? What
Yeah.
the hell is that one? I can't think of the name. That song is... If it could be any more Tool, it would be Tool. It's hyper... It's
Oh,
hyper,
wow.
like... Everybody's in different time signatures. It's super aggressive. There's actually points where, like, listening to it, I got lost. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I can tell that the first song is a carryover. It definitely almost meets the tone. You even brought it up, too. You're like, kind of sounds like it came from...
Beneath the Rose.
Beneath the
Beneath
Rose.
the Rose,
It's very... It's all over the place. Almost to a point where you have to, like, listen to it, listen again, listen again, listen again, and kind of...
Well, they're a band that when they come out with anything, I know number one, I'm buying it and I don't have to hear it. Like I'm buying it.
So
Second thing is, I know I'm gonna have to listen to it for about a week or two
Before to understand...
until I really have an opinion because their stuff is so complexly arranged. There's so much going on. And it usually takes me about a week to be like, all right, I'm starting to get a feel for this album. Like, it really does. Like,
And not to knock that complexity, because from a musician's standpoint, it's amazing. I love it. Like, the amount of skill it takes to pull that off is insane. But at the same time, when you think about it, you're like, you're almost shutting off a new audience because no one's going to want to go
what's
listen
funny
to
is what got them into me was, like...
got them into you or got you into them?
What got me into them...
I was going to say, man, I didn't know you were that big.
what got me into them was, like...
Do you think you can get us a podcast
they were
episode?
playing them... They kept playing them on X Sound. And what they kept playing was they kept playing Shock Me. And the thing is like, Shock Me's a good song, but it's probably, like, the most commercial song that they've done. But...
That's the song I've heard the most.
But
so
it still contained enough of that progressive attitude that they have, that complex attitude, and that was what caught me, because right away, like, I noticed, like, probably the second or third time hearing Shock Me, I kind of was like... They keep changing the chorus. Like, it's Shock Me on the 1, Shock Me on the 2, it's Shock Me on the 3, and then when they go to the second verse, it's Shock Me on the 1, Shock Me on the 3. Like, they kept changing it. And I was like, who the fuck, like, keeps changing, like, how you're arranging that? And that was enough to get me to, like, go, who is this band? And, like, start checking out their shit and going, Jesus Christ, their arrangements are so fucking, like, complex and so, like, intricate. And they're doing so many weird, different arrangements. Like, I don't hear anybody else doing it. And there probably are other bands doing it. But there's so many fucking bands.
I would say, yeah, Tool.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to Tool.
Here's my thing, and I fucking shoot me, and every metalhead in the world is going to hate me for this. I do not, in any way, shape, or form, fucking like Tool. I do not think they are the greatest gift to mankind. When you look at it, yes, the variable timings are amazing, but go ahead, and I'm going to say this with fucking from the bottom of my heart, go ahead back and listen to traditional blues. The time signatures are not the same for the entire band. And that's what makes blues amazing. There's never, to be honest, there's not a wrong note in blues. You can fuck up and it will still sound amazing. Because you just key change and play a different time signature, and everyone just keeps going. The only thing that's the same in blues is your and you just keep that same, like, simple beat, which is the same beat they use in reggae. It's the same beat that carries through jazz. But the core of it is Tool is just a heavy metal blues band that people are like, it's the best thing ever. And they fucking, let's be honest, I think Baroness does it better.
I mean, I like some Tool. I mean, to be honest, I probably like a perfect circle pattern.
No, that tasted bad. I'm gonna wash
What?
that down with this one. Oh God, that's right. You want to retract that statement?
No.
Oh,
I mean, I'm clearly not the metal guy in the room, but
No, I'm not either.
don't look at me.
I-
No
I'll
one look
have
at me.
some
Stop
of my-
looking at me.
I'll have some
Listen
unpopular
to country,
opinions.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gone country.
You know who? I probably haven't
Track,
told
you're
you.
sexy.
You know who I like from kind of that same era? Because we're talking Tool, so we're talking like my adolescence. They were a little bit later, but you know who I have never fucking understood? And every fucking kid that I went to high school that was edgy or whatever. Any kid my age in high school had one or two fucking shirts. They either had the Mighty Mighty fucking Boss Tones, which, alright, I like some Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, you know. And I get why a lot of kids that age in like the 90s like them and shit. The band that I still cannot fucking figure out, I still don't fucking like, and I don't fucking get it. No.
Fuck.
9 Inch Nails.
You know what?
I do not get 9 Inch Nails.
Let's call
at
that a
all.
sex band.
I like the hand that feeds.
Fucking all.
Pretty much.
I don't
I'm
like
in that
anything
boat
by
with you.
I don't like
I
anything
don't
by
like
9
anything
Inch
by-
Nails. Not a single song.
She's,
not a
she's
single
upstairs
fucking
doing
thing.
baby's nails right now, but she used to be a big 9 Inch Nails fan.
I don't
Big.
get that band at all.
Like shirts and everything when I met her.
That's a
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about 9 Inch Nails for you.
I'm taking a giant shit on 9 Inch Nails right now.
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, she's over
I have
it.
a shirt from like
She's over it.
the fucking 90s that is, well, used to be my bleaching hair shirt. So, shit on them all you want.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi!
I know.
Child nails are clipped.
Yeah, I don't get that band at all.
I don't
get
get
how they're so popular. I don't get people that say the Trevor Reznor. You know,
Something Trevor
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Trevor
it's-
something. The only Trevor that
it's-
matters to me is Strand, and he's
Yeah,
been
it's
gone
such
for
a
a while.
genius. I'm just like, I don't get it. And I'm not saying he's not. I don't get it. Well, there's no Mark Mothersbaugh.
I have the same feeling towards, and fucking this band is like super controversial, mainly because of one person. Fucking Falling in Reverse. People are like, oh, they're so good, they're the greatest ever. I'm like, why? What are they doing different? The reality of it is, Falling in Reverse is a knockoff Breaking Benjamin / Motionless in White / Hailstorm. He's just
you're
late to
talking
the
about, dude.
he
It's
is late to the mid
greatest.
2000s metal genre.
I have a secret shrine in the attic to him.
To Rodney.
You leave him out of your mouth.
Yo, that reminds me of a fucking TikTok where that dude is fucking making a joke to the lady that gets all upset.
Leave Britney alone.
Wrong person.
I don't get
Say
the
his name,
popularity.
Lucas.
I really don't get the popularity for it.
Rodney.
Because, like, he's self-proclaimed, too, of like, oh, I'm the greatest hip-hop metal
I
rapper
hate-
in the fucking other fucking bands that do
You
it.
fucking
30
don't
times better?
hold a key
No.
to them.
I've seen
Like,
them live. I hate
Ice-T's
that
band,
dude
obviously, way better.
Dude, oh god. First off, I want to shout this out. It's KT, right? That record shop, they're over in Middletown.
Yeah.
The only place I've ever gone to in my life where I was walking through
We talked about it.
I was walking through the metal section and got down towards the end, and it's body count, body count, body count. Every album, I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to be so bored. And I was like, no, ooh, it says Candlemass. Like, oh man, if you're looking for something, chances are it's probably in there somewhere. There is so much shit. I walk through and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, I'm just gonna start here. But then I started walking around and like even mixed in like the hard rock stuff, there was metal bands mixed in. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Where's Cole? I got my 4 vinyls. Where is he? He's hiding in the back. I'll go find him. And I walk back there and there's even more. I'm like, oh shit.
There's one album I'd love to have on vinyl, but you can't get it because it's not produced anymore, because it was never meant to come out. And it's Ex-Military by Death Grips.
There's a whole Death Grip section there.
I'm sure, but there's Ex-Military is not going to be there because it's a mixtape, and they sampled a shit ton of things and never got clearance for them.
Probably right, but if you want Death Grip shit,
Yeah.
he's got a lot.
Then I have to go there because I want Death Grip shit.
This guy, I'm standing there, he's like, there's some Danzig. I was like, no thank you. He's like, I wasn't sure how you felt. I'm like, yep, not a fan.
Well, you know,
Not a fan of Danzig.
gotta ask questions.
Not a fan of the Misfits. Also, Kyle threw in his opinion. His,
Ex-Military goes for like thousands, and that's unopened.
Kyle threw in something. He said the first song he vividly remembers was Kiss Love Gun. So,
Ooh.
one of my
Talking- awesome because he's talking about his dick. His dick is the gun.
one of my favorite bands is like heavily Kiss inspired. It's Lordy.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
That is
could at least give Rodney Rackie Tipple if he can
Unofficial,
actually pull
that's
off
why.
an arc spire.
yeah.
If he can pull it off, that'd be Tipple.
Grand.
But since we know that he can't pull that off, he'll never
That's
be
cassette.
tippable.
Yeah.
Cassettes.
If he ever sees a clip from this, that's a
shit.
challenge.
Yeah.
We'll see if
That's
he
why
accepts.
that would be-
I'll just tag.
The
I'll tag him
official
on
release
TikTok.
is-
He'll
No.
see it.
Fucking, because they're rare.
Ugh.
They were like, there was one release of them, and that was it, because they had to.
I don't think anybody can pull a fucking arc spire though. I really don't.
But I would love to have,
That guy is
Ex-Military.
just
because that
insane.
album's fucking ride. It's weird. It's because it's a. This is before they even know, because it was just fuck, I forget who. I can't remember his name, but he was in previous bands, and they didn't know they had an actual drummer.